All right, Citizen Voice is still here in the recyclery. We've just run into two people from Colorado that didn't know each other. Now they do. There's something funny about this climate movement. You get to know new people. I'm with Chris Bentley, who's from Colorado. I'm going to let Chris introduce himself and say why he's here.
My name's Chris Bentley. I'm the chairman and founder of the Pet Industry Sustainability Coalition, and we've got about 150 members like PetSmart and Petco and Kroger and some of the big brands, and we're partnered with World Wildlife Fund and Natural Capitalism Solutions, and our mission is to clean up the pet industry and make it greener. And we're doing it.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Do you know Chuck and Don's?
Of course I know Chuck and Don's.
Yeah, that's where we get some of our supplies for Pickles, our cat. Hi, Pickles.
They're just about to join our coalition. I met with them a couple of weeks ago.
And you're happy with the way, I like the way that they give a dividend and they're very communicative.
Yeah.
And
yeah, they are. And the pet industry can really, here as a matter of fact, is the head of our Pet Industry Sustainability Coalition.
how great is that?
Hunter Lovins.
We've seen her a little bit ago, but
Yes,
now
yes.
we pull her in again.
Yes, we've been friends for many years. I was just telling them about the Pet Industry Sustainability Coalition and the work we're doing under Natural Capitalism Solutions.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes,
So Colorado's kind of taking over the place tonight.
there's a lot of people here from Colorado. We
Yeah,
care.
there's another one right in the wings. Come on in.
Alliance for Sustainable Colorado.
Join
I'm gonna
us.
go set up my machine.
Please introduce yourself.
All right.
My name is Brena. I work at the Alliance for Sustainable Colorado.
And do you know Terry Gibbs, which is how I know Hunter? He did the Alliance for Sustainable Agriculture, now the Alliance for Sustainability in Minneapolis. But Colorado, Minneapolis seems to have a very strong connection. You know, you both have XL Energy. We're both kind of shifting the way they do business. And where do you live?
I live in Denver, Colorado.
In Denver. Okay. And you're
Boulder.
in Boulder,
Mhm.
of course. And they're pretty close together.
About 45 minutes.
A lot of my Frisbee friends are in Boulder.
Yeah.
I grew up playing Frisbee there on the campus of UW, or CW, sorry.
Good.
Yeah.
Ask
So-
another question.
So what do you think, both of you, what do you think about the process of the COP and what's going to come out of it? And then what's the message that sends to citizens who are just starting to get engaged in this process of healing our planet?
Well, so this is the first COP that I've been to, but I think the words I would use is very cautiously optimistic. I feel like the level of civic engagement and engagement from the private sector, from NGOs and government all over the world is paramount and hasn't really been seen in the past COPs. The working draft was issued on Saturday, a 48-page agreement that was unprecedented for the speed that was produced. And I know it's been passed on to another round of negotiators now, and from what I'm hearing from Tom Karnak, it's not necessarily a debate on the content, but more on some of the rhetoric behind it, which is a good sign, right? It's not the topics that they're debating, but the small jargon on how to get there. I feel like, the news coming out with the carbon markets in the world, about 30% of the world economies now are represented in a carbon market on some way, and that's huge. Besides a binding agreement, if we can get a global carbon market, or at least steps in the right direction from this COP, it will be really, really paramount. So the message that sends, I think, is wake up, and the time for action is 100 years ago, but now is the time we're living. So do as much as you can and spread the message and get people engaged. I mean, it's a really empowering process to be a part of, and I'm very cautiously optimistic, but I think we're going to have good results.
Thank you. Chris, what do you think?
I haven't been into the official events, but I've gone to a lot of side events. For instance, today I spent all day at the Earth to Paris worldwide web feed that they have today and tomorrow, and I got to hear John Kerry speak, and Jane Goodall, Sylvia Earle, all sorts of top international figures, and the overriding message from all of them was that even if there's not an agreement signed, sealed, and delivered, that this is still a huge movement, because for the first time ever, 180 some countries have come to this with agreements, or at least commitments, already in hand. So what that does, that didn't happen 5 years ago, is it forces the United States to step up and do something, because those darn Republicans always used the fact that no other countries are doing anything to put off signing Kyoto or anything else. Not the case anymore. So now it's a movement. I think a couple of the things that have impressed me the most is all the young people that are here and the females that are here, case in point, where these conferences used to be a lot of people our age that have been to them for dozens of years, and now it's a whole new generation that's really rolling up their sleeves and understands the issues, understands the solutions to some of the challenges, and is really ready to make a difference.
There were 5,000 youth here for the COI conference, the Conference on Youth, the week before the COP. And so it's pretty unstoppable now, and to find a way to connect the generations and open up doors with, you know, the contacts that we have, and then to listen carefully to, you know, what's possible with the new technology and the way to live a sustainable life and the transitional work that we all need to do. So it is hopeful. And I think that the message to you, the citizens, is that it's really up to you when we go home to get engaged, get your family engaged, get your school engaged, your faith community, your business, and the agreement we can blow past the targets. But that's going to take a lot of, you know, hard work and good work.
The snowball's rolling down the hill, so get on it.
I'm glad to hear that, and thank you for your insight inside the COP.
My pleasure.
Yeah, good. Okay. So the Alliance is doing some innovative things. Can you tell us something that's happening in Denver?
Of course. So we have about 4 different business models that the Alliance operates under, but I think one of the most poignant things to talk to is our direct current retrofit. So we're looking to take the building itself and use it as a learning living laboratory to create a microgrid of the building, installing PV on the roof, PV windows, PV solar fabrics, and then it would install solar on the roof, solar fabrics, solar windows, and then battery packs on each of the 5 floors. So the building itself would actually be run off direct current. We'd have to keep an underlying current for alternating current as well because of certain building codes, but the initial phase of the building would save us about 35 to 40% energy right off the bat. And by the time we get all the way through the phase 4 or 5 of the project, we'll be saving anywhere from about 60% of the energy load on the building. And what makes this really amazing is the ability to scale. So there's about 6,000 other buildings just in the downtown Denver area that are considered ripe for this retrofit. And when you start looking at carbon emission statistics across the country, the built environment is one of the biggest producers of it. So if we can take this replication model and scale it nationally, internationally, it's going to be a game changer in the built environment to extremely reduce the amount of emissions and increase efficiencies in that. And the other concept that makes it extremely impactful is resiliency. So if we're a microgrid and the mass grid goes down, we still have power, and we can generate power to our neighbors or anyone who's connected to our microgrid. So it's an amazing project. It's really a game changer, and we're being very careful and intentional with how we're rolling it out. We're establishing a national peer review group with people that are leaders in this industry to make sure that we're making the right choices. And again, we're the learning laboratory, so we're going to get all of these barriers to entry out of the way and then share that in a replication model to be able to scale our efforts, hopefully internationally.
Wow. As a commissioner in Edina, you know, we're looking at what the changes we can make in our small, you know, 50,000 person city. So I'd like to keep an eye on what you're doing and seeing how we can replicate things right there in Minnesota.
Most definitely. I think, you know, the replication model is really what is really impactful about this, because we're going to share the lessons learned. That's the point of the project, to be able to share with people like yourselves so it can be implemented all over the globe.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.